And we are live.
What up?
Yeah, how's it going, Ben? We're back again this week. And I mean, the market is doing great. We've just been rallying this entire week. So, I mean, it's just been excitement everywhere.
It has been. And I think BNB was like a little over 300 last Friday when we talked. And I was telling you 400 was coming, and we're here. So
Exactly. So,
huge move up.
I mean, yeah, it's gotten extremely excited. I'm just actually over here fiddling with the BNB chart. Let me pop on my screen and we can check out the actual percentage move we got from last Friday. So I was just looking here. So on the 6th is when we did our stream last. So we're just sitting around here somewhere around 330 at BNB. So BNB itself is up 20%. And I mean, this is pretty significant considering last week we were kind of talking about how BNB was lagging kind of the rest of the crypto and even DeFi market. So I'm just curious a little bit to see where that kind of stands. So 20% in the past. So I'm pulling from the past 14 days. So I'll do the same thing on ETH here as well. And if we look at ETH is back above 3,000 again. And so a lot of these tokens look like they're kind of ready to start testing all-time highs again.
Yeah, it feels like it. And then now all the smaller DeFi plays are starting to run also.
Exactly. And I mean, Ethereum looks like it's up a little bit more if you're pulling 14 days, but it's not by much. It's still kind of around this 20% range. It might even be kind of the same amount of move at this point, looking at kind of my lapse measuring skills here. But overall, this just kind of looks extremely healthy. There's not much to say here. Like we've been getting buyers in the market now for almost 25 days straight. So we definitely can't go up forever, but I think this is kind of dispels kind of any bear market fears here.
No, agreed. I wouldn't be surprised to see a pullback sooner than later. But Bitcoin kind of had that pullback yesterday, and then it just like pushed right through it.
Exactly. So for me, the main kind of level I was watching was actually 45,000, and we kind of bounced off it. The main reasoning there is this 45,000 level was still kind of like, if we didn't make it over, there's still kind of like the chance that it was like some sort of head and shoulders here. But overall, Bitcoin looks like it just kind of is powering over 45K. We more or less kind of bounced off the level here, if you can see there. So overall, it looks extremely healthy. And I mean, you can look a ton of other places in the market, and it's just extremely apparent there. And I see someone in chat is asking for a chart on Axie Infinity, so we can just go ahead and jump on that. I haven't looked at that in a little bit, so let's see what we can do here. I'll just pull some levels. And I mean, Axie Infinity, so this is kind of exactly where I'm talking about. And this definitely segues kind of into my next topic. I wanted to touch on NFTs a little bit, but just like quick charting here. I'm just looking at like big levels here. So monthly closes, there's a monthly close here. And then there's a couple weekly kind of cluster of wicks here at 50, which is a pretty significant level. And then this is just like, this isn't easy to chart, right? This is parabolic. This has gone from, we can even just pull from like part of the rally. In the past 25 days, it's up 3x. So a lot of technical analysis kind of goes out of the window on things like this. I would just be a little bit cautious buying into something that's up this high. But I mean, the NFT market is extremely hot. So there's nothing kind of stopping this from going higher. I just wouldn't want to buy after a massive move like this. But I mean, this just looks extremely healthy at the end of the day. People are in here and they're buying this. So yeah, and it looks like Coinbase listed Axie. So that's probably what this catalyst was. So I think that's kind of just extremely interesting there. On the regards of NFTs, what has been going absolutely insane. So play to earn was kind of something that was, I mean, it's still going insane here with Axie Infinity. On the BSC, play to earn has died down a little bit. I don't know how familiar you are with it, Ben, but skill token was kind of or Crypto Blades skill token was kind of one of the go-to play to earn tokens on Binance Smart Chain. And this has kind of had a pretty significant correction now. So this is just kind of an example here of, I did not mean to full screen the trading volume. But Crypto Blades is kind of just an example of what can happen to these play to earn games. Like at the end of the day, nothing can go straight up. So just looking at the chart here, from Crypto Blades all-time high, and this is just to put Axie Infinity in perspective. Obviously, Crypto Blades didn't just list on Coinbase, and it's probably not anywhere near that. So Axie definitely has a lot more fundamentals behind it, but Crypto Blades is down 75% from the highs. But in retrospect, it's still up, I mean, nearly 20x from lows. So you just have to look at these things in retrospect. Same thing for Axie Infinity. Like if you put this on log scale on the year, starting January 1st, Axie Infinity is up like over 100x, 125x currently. So you just kind of have to put these things in perspective. This thing can still sort of correct 50%, and there's still people that are going to be massively up. So if you're not already in, do you want to be the person buying up here? It's not that you're guaranteed to lose money. It's just you've missed a large portion of the move.
Yeah, and I would assume with play to earn, the hype drove the tokens up, and now we have to see if people actually play to earn, right? It's like, what's the user base going to be like for these projects and drive future value?
Exactly. And this is just kind of being skeptical and erring on the side of like caution for these kind of play to earns. I feel like I missed a lot of this move. So I'd want to see like a pretty significant correction before buying. But it is interesting. A lot of people, I actually saw a tweet the other day, and Axie Infinity was like trending on top 50 games on Twitch. So it sounds like they actually have like a pretty kind of unique like in-game features, and people are actually going on and playing this game and watching it on actual streaming platforms.
That's pretty cool.
Other than that, I know I'm kind of just taking you on a whirl through NFT world, Ben, so you're not like the most into these. But the other thing that has kind of just been going insane are these generative art NFTs. So the easiest ones, or like the most popular ones, are CryptoPunks, and those kind of have just been going crazy. I mean, the price floor on those is easily over 6 figures now, and so that's kind of set off this massive move. I did not mean to go to OpenOcean. We want to go to OpenSea to check out some NFTs. So I'm just going to look at the price floor here of CryptoPunks, because I mean, it's just been ridiculous, the move that these NFTs have been getting. So let's jump on here. And so the average price of a CryptoPunk right now is about 82 ETH. So yeah, that's absolutely ridiculous. That's not the price floor, but that is the average price of listed punks. So this kind of just has onset an entire sort of digital kind of profile picture generative NFTs where and this is like a lot of people in the crypto space are just massively bidding on these. So the latest craze of these has been pudgy penguins. And these are very similar. They're penguin generative NFTs. And looking at this, within less than a week, these were trading at about 0.41 ETH. And now these are trading at 3.5 ETH. So the price floor is almost 10x in less than a week. It's a little bit below, somewhere closer to like 6 to 7x. So the pudgy penguins have kind of caught a lot of the hype from CryptoPunks, and these have rallied immensely. And then now it's almost just like it's a penguin theme. What else is going on? There's party penguins, and these are like another spin-off of the pudgy penguins. And this is just like ridiculous that this is what the kind of has been the most exciting thing in crypto. But these were trading at 0.08 ETH on August 8th, and now they're trading about 0.35 ETH. So this price floor is kind of, or this average price has increased exponentially as well. And it's kind of just been incredible that there's organic demand for these and people are bidding these in all kinds of sorts of forms.
Tell you what, man, I don't know what I'm doing wrong here because I'm not buying any of these things. I just bought my first NFT today because it was a BSCNews NFT. And do you want to mention where that went live today?
Definitely. So we actually did just launch a BSCNews NFT on SCV Finance. There's 500 NFTs. We're coming up on half of them have been minted. There we go. Stumbling over my words.
How long have those been out for? Like 30 minutes?
Yeah, something like that. 45 minutes, I believe. So these are going quick. I did not expect them to go this quick. And these are cool. They're exciting. They're definitely probably not going to be the next CryptoPunks, but I mean, I bought a couple. I don't have any means of trying to sell these or flip these. I'm kind of just obviously collecting them because I think they're cool. Perfect. And we've dropped that in chat. So that's all set there. Feel free to go ahead and mint these SEV bots. They also get you a pro membership on SCV Finance, which will allow you to track your portfolios and do all of that good stuff. So it is a dual purpose NFT. You'll have a cool little collectible and be able to use SCV Finance.
And the proceeds go to SCV Finance, correct?
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually got the robot reading the newspaper. So that's my first NFT, maybe my last. Someone said Ben's a baby Doge guy. I am not even going to comment on that comment.
And these are actually some of the NFTs I minted here. I did not get the I Heart BSCNews one, so I'm a little bit upset about that. But this kind of touches on what I wanted to get on for NFTs as a whole. And I have one more super cool project, which I think is probably the most notable NFTs going on Binance Smart Chain currently. But kind of why are these getting so much demand? And obviously there's not like a right answer, but I mean, there's little things that make sense. And part of it is just like, why do people buy art? People like collecting these things and people think it's cool. And that's just one fundamental thing it comes down to. It's just digital art. So there's obviously inherently going to be demand for that of some sort, especially for kind of tech people. And the other thing is like specifically for these generative NFTs, more so like party penguins and CryptoPunks. And the one I'm going to touch on, non-fungible apes from ApeSwap. They kind of almost have a like fun game-like and addictive manner to them. Like you want to keep opening these boxes, trying to get the art you want. And it's unique every single time. And it kind of just gives this user a direct interaction with their art. So little things like this are what kind of are driving value. And then at the end of the day, like it's kind of the same argument with crypto. These NFTs are provably scarce. So it's just driving scarcity. And when there's demand for this art, if it's actually good and people enjoy it, then it makes sense why these prices are kind of going up. Exponential growth that it's been seen. Like, I don't know if this is going to keep going up like this. I'm fairly comfortable calling this sort of an NFT bubble. I just feel like I've missed this move. Like if I was getting in on sort of NFTs, I should have been doing it early this month, the end of last month, even before that. So I'm just having trouble kind of entering the market now, but I think it's extremely interesting.
It is. I still don't get it, but I'm having fun watching it, right? And
fair enough, yeah.
People are making a ton of money, so who am I to say anything otherwise?
Exactly. I've been sitting here. I've been happy collecting like 0.25% to 0.5% in yield on DeFi after a massive correction, and there's all these NFT people who are up hundreds of X while kind of crypto has just been consolidating. So that's been crazy. Most notably, I want to touch on just for Binance Smart Chain is the non-fungible apes. And this NFT market has exploded in value. This has only been out for 3 months, a little over 3 months since the beginning of April. And ApeSwap went ahead and did a bunch of drops. I think they did like around 10 or so of these NFA drops each Saturday. And now the market is up to 8,700 BNB, which is well over $3 million in USD of value in these apes. Actually, currently, they have an auction going on, and it's just madness. There's what they're calling a common ape, so something with kind of just normal stats, and it was coined as the CZ Binance ape. It was actually this one right here. And I was just a little bit confused because, I mean, this doesn't have too much to do with CZ. It's a non-fungible ape with the third eye. But this just auctioned the other day for $30,000, 80 BNB. And so these are NFTs right here on the Binance Smart Chain. So I think this is incredibly it's insane how much the ApeSwap kind of ecosystem has grown, and that they now have sort of a staple NFT sort of project. And it's not just that one NFT. This one was a rare one here that sold for 24,000. And so these auctions are currently just going on. And this one actually just started up. So you have kind of all these auctions going on, and the non-fungible apes will kind of start to wrap up this NFT madness here. But the non-fungible apes are pretty cool because they're not just NFTs. ApeSwap actually incorporates like DeFi mechanisms to them. And so the one thing that I specifically know is ApeSwap partners with projects and they airdrop tokens to non-fungible ape holders. So I know the latest one has been for the Dragonary token, which ApeSwap did an IAO for. Users were actually airdropped some tokens if you held a non-fungible ape. And so I know they've done like a handful of these now. So not only are you kind of getting in on the generative NFTs, you're also getting in on sort of earning and airdrop mechanics through holding it. So I just think it's extraordinary. I think I missed out on these two as well. I just have trouble entering in an NFT market that's up 10 to 100x. But who knows? Like these very well may keep going as this just gets into mainstream media more.
Yeah, I think I'm going to sit this one out. I feel like I missed it.
I know, me too. I'm just piling straight back into DeFi. And I think this is where we can transition a little bit. Because I mean, we know how crypto works. These things typically tend to go exponential. They bubble. So who knows if we're halfway through it or if this is going to kind of start crumbling down in the next couple of days. I just know that I'm like being in crypto, I don't want to buy the top. But there is just like a ton of other stuff going on. Like it's no longer the market is sitting on a super crucial support. We're now kind of trying to come back to these all-time highs. So there's a ton of kind of just exciting things going on in DeFi. And I know you sort of have this specific thesis you've been pushing. Yeah. So we can jump into that and kind of get into more of like the DeFi side of things now.
Yeah. So obviously I'm a huge fan of yield optimizers, but it's not just because they optimize yield, right? Which they do, and it's efficient, it's helpful. But it's because it's a service that actually distributes a profit, right? That's how I'm kind of looking at it. It's a business that distributes a profit. And to me, that's just something that makes sense, right? So like, I just want to stay where things make sense to me. So NFTs, I don't get it. And so it's just, I'll watch it. I'll see other people make lots of money and whatever, they're having fun. But so like with yield optimizers and DEXs, fundamentally, they are service providers that have different ways of essentially delivering profits to stakeholders, whether it's through like a buyback and burn mechanism or yield distribution method, something, right? And I actually saw a tweet. Can you pull up Auto Farm's market cap by any chance?
Yep, I can jump on CoinMarketCap for that.
And so like with Auto Farm, they're a cross-chain yield optimizer, which cross-chain to me is huge because you're not limited to the risk profile of a single DeFi ecosystem. And you can kind of profit from whatever ecosystem they're on just by holding their token. What's their market cap right now?
It is at 65 million.
That's nothing.
Exactly.
I saw, I think the tweet I said saw something like 50 million. And the fact that they're on, how many chains are they on? Polygon,
Yeah, I actually don't
BSC,
know. I did see the other day.
Echo.
Yep, they've got a kind of large bank there. Another one who's kind of been killing the cross-chain game as well has been BEEFY Finance, and
Yeah.
they've been around forever. They're kind of the OGs on the Binance Smart Chain. I actually saw this meme here they posted. I don't know if it came directly from the BEEFY account, but BEEFY is also on a plethora of chains as well. I can probably just pull up their website and see them all here. So yeah, they're on BSC, Avalanche, Hiko, Polygon, and Phantom.
Yeah. And so the way I look at it is that's access to, what do you think, $50 billion at this point? And there's like this, it does this dance, right? I'll call it a dance, where if the assets that they are optimizing are going up in value, they're inherently producing more fees and profits. So especially in a bull market, these buybacks and burns they just get bigger, right? It just automatically happens that way because the like all things staying equal except for prices going up, it's just as larger profit distributions. And so, especially going into a bull run, like I feel like we are, it's like I want these yield optimizer guys because they're delivering me profit. That's what they're doing.
Yeah, they're also delivering products that are kind of essential to the DeFi ecosystem. Like
Yep.
everyone wants to yield farm, but no one wants to sit there and harvest their yield every day. So these guys are able to offer a service and collect a small fee, and it makes it worthwhile for kind of all parties.
Mm-hmm.
And I know specifically for BEEFY, I'm not too sure where auto farm kind of emissions sit, but for BEEFY, there's no emissions at all. So you don't have to kind of worry about this everlasting issue for all these yield farming tokens. Like, is my token going to be inflated to zero price? Like, is the inflation going to surpass the demand of this token? And am I just collecting yield that's going to be worthless? You don't have to worry about that for BEEFY. And even for Auto Farm, I know the emissions are extremely low for whatever they have. But for BEEFY, it's just a fixed supply token, and they have this revenue from the fees going back to the holders. So it's just kind of this great revenue model, and it's being used. That's the incredible part. Like, people are using these apps. I wonder if I can see the TVL here on BEEFY. So just on Binance Smart Chain, I don't know if you saw there was 400 million locked up.
Yeah.
So that, I mean, that's a very significant amount of money kind of in the platform, and that BEEFY Finance users are collecting fees on. Doesn't look like this dashboard wants to load, but look, I mean, BEEFY's even buying back $7,000 worth a day. So this kind of goes exactly along the lines of what you were saying. And there's no emissions. So this is just, if this data is accurate, this is just $7,000 that's being taken off the market of BEEFY daily, just buy pressure on top of, like you're saying, if we are going back into a bull market, there's going to be immense demand for these sorts of tokens anyway. And we've seen it before. We've seen BEEFY have these sort of massive run-ups in the past.
Yeah. What did BEEFY top at?
Looks like right under 2,000. This was when the Binance Innovation Zone listing happened, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. So I've been talking about yield optimizers for probably 3 months now. And it just makes so much sense, right? From just like a business investment standpoint. Even exchanges, even though like the DEXs, their emissions are higher typically, but it's the same concept, right? They collect fees, they have some type of buyback burn mechanism. So the more volume, the higher the prices, the more volume. Same deal. Being a stakeholder means you're just profiting from the whole ecosystem. The only difference with DEXs is they're not typically cross-chain, and that's the advantage of a yield optimizer is they can just follow liquidity everywhere it goes.
Definitely. And I think that's immense. I actually, looking at this BEEFY Finance dashboard, I think it's extremely notable. Like, even Cake isn't doing this. Like, you see Cake doing $2 million burns, but their burns are still, the inflation is still kind of outweighing the burns that they're doing. Whereas this is a fixed supply token. So this is just $7,000 of BEEFY that are being taken off the market on a daily basis. So this is extremely notable. I'm definitely liking your yield optimizer thesis.
I've been sitting because and then also you can yield farm with the tokens. So it's like sit there and have what I think is a good asset, and then a beefy BUSD position can earn you 70% APY just by holding it anyway.
There you go.
Yeah, it's a good deal.
Definitely. And then just some other tokens getting off the yield optimizers a little bit. There's a couple things that I just think have an immense upside. So Nerve Finance is one. And we were this is funny, we were touching on not all dexes are cross-chain, of course, but Nerve is going for this cross-chain solution as well. So just capturing all all chains. So they've just opened up their Ethereum bridge. I know they plan to do Solana as well at some point, but Nerve Finance has been performing extraordinarily well. It's up over 50% in the past 2 weeks. And what this is it's just an AMM on Binance Smart Chain that is looking to go cross-chain. And yeah, I know Nerve has some significant private backing. I'm not 100% sure exactly who it is, but on that kind of topic of significant private backing, another token that I have looked into a little bit and I definitely want to dive into more, but Tranchus has been on my radar as well. And the idea behind this token is it gives users exposure to Bitcoin derivatives, leveraged Bitcoin. So you have the option to do that. And it also does tokenized asset management, and it takes a play on words on tranche funds and just combines it with Tranchus. And this team actually has extremely significant backing from people like Three Arrows Capital, who I think is an extremely important market participant, Spartan, Binance Labs, and then they also just have audits going on and all that typical things you want to see for projects. And this is something where the governance token, you're going to like this, Ben, and you're going to want to look more into this. The governance token, if you lock up chess, you actually earn Bitcoin in yield. So this is how their yield farming system works. And then you can see they have a small leveraged Bitcoin position you can even take here. And so this is another super interesting bit or BSC project that's on the come up that I'm looking forward to as we get back into bull market territory.
I do like the idea of earning Bitcoin as your yield.
Yeah.
I don't hate it.
Yeah. And this protocol has over 500 million locked up. And Nerve, I'm not 100% sure how much Nerve has locked up. 100 million. So these are both pretty significant, and they're quickly growing on the Binance Smart Chain.
And does Nerve, with their derivatives trading, can you basically supply stables to earn a yield to the derivatives market?
So Nerve isn't derivatives. Tranchus is going to be the derivatives.
Sorry, Tranchus. Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah, and I'm actually not 100% sure how these derivatives are backed. I think you can deposit these tokens, and I assume these are what are being used as collateral for the derivatives. Okay. And it's also, they don't need that much collateral, right? This is only a 1.5 leverage Bitcoin position. So they are keeping these very manageable. And it looks like you just you can deposit any of these assets here. You can provide liquidity through Chess USDC. You can even just single stake Chess and lock that up for around a 200% APY. And Chess is the governance token of Tranchus. So this is definitely a protocol. I haven't dove deep into it yet, but I'm definitely these are two on my radar where I'm probably going to be researching these and looking into these protocols this weekend. Nerve, I have a much better understanding for. It's just a cross-chain AMM DEX, and they have fairly significant stablecoin liquidity on there. And so hopefully I want to see some more bridges potentially to Solana and Polygon and some other things there.
I would like to see that too, because we were talking before those. I can't find a really simple and reliable BSC to Polygon bridge, which it's not making sense to me that this has been such a difficult task.
Yeah, how has AnySwap been? Do you not use AnySwap?
Do they go to Polygon?
I believe so. I've had
Okay.
issues with AnySwap because every time I try to use AnySwap, I use it on my phone and it's for some reason not optimized. Whenever I try to hit, I get stuck somewhere and the app just does not work on mobile,
Gotcha.
it seems like. But I know AnySwap has some sort of bridge. I've been kind of closed up on BSC, so I haven't been having to deal with too many bridges recently. But yeah, that's kind of just what I've been looking at in the BSC space. I think I'm getting to the point where I really want to see sort of other backing behind these projects, and I want an actual use case, so not just a normal sort of DEX. This one is kind of going and trying to capture all of the DeFi market, starting with ETH, and we'll see where they bridge out. I know they have been advertising a ton that they want to. It actually looks like Nerve Bridge is powered by AnySwap, so AnySwap definitely has a decent sort of bridge if Nerve is building off of it.
Mm-hmm.
But what I was getting back to is they've been advertising a lot that they're looking to expand liquidity to Solana. So that's been a huge reason why I kind of have been peeking up on Nerve, because I mean, nothing sounds better to me than a multi-chain protocol on both Solana and Binance Smart Chain. I definitely have to do some more research on that, because I do know deploying things on Solana is definitely a little bit more work on the coding end, versus posting something on an EVM such as Ethereum, Polygon, or Phantom. So I'm not sure what the ETA is on that, but that's definitely something I'm keeping an eye on.
I'm going to look into this one too. I'm not going to say I'm going to buy it, but I might buy it.
Yeah. And I will kind of start to close this up here.
Yeah.
But if anyone wants to drop anything in chat, any questions, any sort of tokens you guys have been looking at. But this is why I like Nerve a lot. It's also important to note that this is a DEX protocol, so there is a lot of yield farming rewards, meaning the market cap when Nerve was at $6.50, they may very well have been lower than it is now. And that's just like an over exaggeration, but it's just important that this doesn't have to go back to all-time highs to be at a higher valuation than it was before. But even just kind of looking at this chart, these are these Binance Smart Chain charts we've been liking. You have this massive correction after a run up, and now we're kind of just starting to break back out again. And I mean, just back to all-time highs, which may be a stretch if we get there, but it very well can get back to that. I mean, there's 600% to be had back to all-time highs. So this is something where as they kind of continue to expand cross-chain and get demand, this can easily get back to all-time highs.
Oh, someone mentioned Luna, and you should pull that one up. Luna is used as the collateral for UST in the Terra blockchain.
Perfect. I can probably...
UST's getting sucked in everywhere. Like, I think Coinbase listed UST this week, at least the ERC20 version. So...
yeah, and I mean, this is doing...
Is that at its previous all-time high already?
Yeah, so this is like a token that looks like actually really strong compared to the rest of the market. If you... let's see. I'm just outlining the resistances here. So you have a little cluster up here where it couldn't get over, another one right here. So this is probably the most significant resistance. And then obviously the all-time high is fairly important as well. And then kind of just doing the same thing for support. I even might zoom out here and try to pull some weekly closes. And this one looks like you have a weekly close here. You have a wick there that's going to touch the weekly close, and then you have another one there. So that's probably a pretty significant weekly support if you want to look at that. And then monthly, this is probably, we can drill back in, and that's some sort of the breakout there. So this is pretty significant support. But overall, this is just, it's outperforming the market, and that's what's important. I can sit here and kind of outline the technicals of it, and these lines may or may not play out as you want them to, but this is at all-time highs. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Luna break out kind of before a lot of these other major coins like Bitcoin and stuff like that.
Yes, I think Luna's actually burned to mint UST, I believe.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with Luna at all, but kind of just looking at this chart and the strength against the relative market, this is definitely a solid coin here.
Awesome.
Yeah, and
I was gonna say,
go ahead,
so
man.
the secret code is BSC DeFi 1, which is at the scrolling bar here for anyone that can't look at it.
I'm gonna go ahead and I will drop the giveaway link here, and people will be you'll be able to submit through this form. Let me make sure I'm just getting the proper link. And you guys will be able to submit through this form. We will let the giveaway run for a few more days, just to kind of let anybody who missed the live stream, they can still tune into the video and enter. But we'll be closing that up and picking the winners there. Other than that, we actually have a few events coming up next week. Stay tuned. We will have some more kind of individual projects come on to do AMAs, but more significantly, next Thursday on the 19th, we're going to be having a security summit. And this is going to be a jam-packed lineup. And kind of the goal is to just educate users on the security of Binance Smart Chain. So we've invited a handful of projects. We got Onto Wallet, Ontology Wallet, iSafePal Wallet, Hackin, Pancake Bunny. Who else do we have in there? We have Immunify. Someone from Binance Smart Chain community will actually be joining us for the event, and Featured by Binance will be sponsoring the event with an NFT giveaway. So let me go ahead and see if I can't find the tweet for that, just to point you guys in the right direction there, because this will definitely be an event you don't want to miss. I'll just drop you guys this tweet that we posted today. And there's also a large giveaway attached to this event as well. So this will be covering a ton of different things. Each project has kind of outlined their direct focus. So just for a quick example, the CEO of Hackin, Demo, will be covering front running bots. And I think this is an incredibly important topic on the Binance Smart Chain, especially as I've just recently learned about front running bots and how much they can actually cost you in slippage. So there's definitely going to be a ton of information there. You won't want to miss that. Go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube so you do actually get kind of updates on all the content, because we're going to be posting on here a lot more in the near future. Other than that, thank you everybody for coming in. Thanks, Ben, for joining me. It's been great this week. I mean, it's always fun to talk about the market when you have Bitcoin back over 45K.
When the market's going up, it's fun to talk about the market.
Yeah, I mean, there we go. So other than that, everyone, trade safe out there. Don't risk more than you have to. Be careful with the NFT craze, but I wish all of you guys some lucky generative NFTs, because all you need is one mint nowadays, it seems. So thank you everyone for tuning in. We'll leave it there, and we'll be live with a couple events next week. Thank you, everyone.